In this video, I am going to show you how to use the tools. We're going to do some editing. I'm going to show you how to unlink this footage from its audio. I'm going to go through a little bit of the basics of these effects panels over here, and just some sort of basic editing and alignment things. So the first thing I want to show you is these tools. Really the only tools that we're going to be using in this class, at least for the purposes of our assignments, are the selection tool and the cut tool, the razor tool. Okay. The selection tool does exactly what it sounds like it does. It allows you to select things. It allows you to move the clips around. You can reorganize things. Obviously, this is the tool that you're going to use the most. You can use it to pull the playhead around, and then it allows you to make a little bit more finessed edits and changes as we start to use more effects. One of the things that I wish somebody would have told me a long time ago is that there are keyboard shortcuts to each of these tools, and while it might seem like not that big of a deal to sort of toggle back and forth by clicking, it's way faster if you can use V for the selection tool and C for the cut tool, the razor tool. And what the razor tool does is it allows you to actually cut the clips and make sections. So you can go like this, and now if we push V, it separates these clips out. Okay, you'll notice that it's also cutting the corresponding audio clip as well. And the reason that it is doing this is because these audio tracks and these video tracks are linked together. And so what I'm going to show you how to do next, after I show you how to undo all this, is how to unlink this footage from the video and the audio tracks. Okay. One of the other tools that you're going to become very familiar with is undo. The way you undo is the same as it is in Photoshop and a variety of other applications as well, and it is Command Z. So if I Command Z, it'll pull these back up, and then it'll eventually uncut my clips. Okay. So before we go into the next parts of editing and cutting up clips, I want to unlink this footage from this audio. And the way that you do this is by pressing Control and clicking or right-clicking on the actual footage and going up to unlink. And the question is, why would you want to do this? There are a couple of reasons. One is that, if you're recording this footage on your phone, chances are it's going to have, like in this case, just like pretty useless audio track footage, right? I mean, it's all crackly. It's just on my phone. It sounds terrible. It's super distracting. I don't want it. I'm not going to be able to use it. I'm not interested in it. And furthermore, I'm going to put, if I was making an actual video, I would want a soundtrack, or I would want to add in special effects or sound effects that sound better and more professional. And in the case of making animations, like in this class, when we make a GIF or something, there's no audio. And so we want to be able to use our video clips, and it doesn't make any sense just to mute something or reduce the levels so that it's still there. It creates a whole host of problems, not to mention it sort of bogs down the video with unneeded data. And so it's nice to have the option to get rid of it. So now that these are unlinked, okay, I right-clicked Control and went to unlink. So now they are separate. I can move them around independently. You can see that. And in this case, I'm going to delete it. So now I've just got this video footage. Okay, it's already way more pleasant to listen to. But let's say you didn't want to delete it yet. You were nervous about it. You can always mute that mute that track, so that you're not being forced to listen to it while you edit it. Maybe you're not ready to commit to deleting it just yet, and you can sort of get rid of it that way so you can work in peace. In this case, I don't need it. So we've got this footage here now. I want to show you a couple of other ways really quickly of how to chop up a clip. So the first way I've already shown you. You can press C. You can cut them up this way. The other way to do it is to adjust it like this. So if you hover over any given clip, you'll get these brackets with a little arrow pointing in one direction or the other. And what you can do, so let's say that I'm like scrubbing through here with the playhead, and I really like, for some reason, when she starts to pull her head out a little bit and wink. I like that. Okay, so I want to reduce the amount of time before that happens, so it's a little bit more impactful and noticeable. So I can get my razor tool and I can just sort of arbitrarily cut there, okay? But if you zoom in on this, you'll see that I was just sort of guessing, and it was pretty close, okay? But it's not super precise. The other way that you can do this, that's a little bit more precise as you use the playhead to find the location of your cut, is you can hit Command K, and it will cut and make a splice exactly where the playhead was located. If you ever have multiple tracks in here, so let's say that I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. If you ever have multiple tracks and you don't have them selected, it should cut both of them. Oh, it just did one, so that's good. So you can select both of them, and then it will cut them simultaneously. So let's say if you had an audio track or you wanted to make a really nice cut on both clips as they're stacked up in these tracks, you can do that. The other way, I'm going to get rid of that clip. If you want to do it along with Command K, is you go to Sequence, and then you go to Add Edit, and it will do the same thing. So again, there's multiple ways to do each of these things. Whatever sort of makes sense to you, I encourage you to use. The other way to do this is with these little guys, and you can click and pull them in and out of the sequence of the clip, and it will snap to this playhead. Okay. The nice thing about this process is that it is non-destructive, meaning that it is not actually deleting anything. It is merely like moving the starting point up. So if you ever decide like, oh, actually I didn't want that, you can always pull this back and it will keep this footage in here. Premiere does have it's sort of evolved this way so that if you do cut these with the razor tool, for the most part it will remember. But it's better if you plan on not deleting things, just to do it this way, because it's always going to keep the clips intact and you don't have to worry about it getting lost or deleted or any sort of destructive processes happening to your clip. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and undo all the way through there. And now we can scrub through and see our little clip. Okay. Let's do one more series of edits to this little clip. I want to show you how to adjust the speed and duration of this clip. So right now it's playing at 100% speed as it was recorded. And the way that you can adjust the speed and duration of a given clip is by right-clicking on the clip, or control-clicking in this case, and you go to speed and duration. When you click on speed and duration, it's going to show you where the clip is at right now. Okay, it's at 100%. It gives you a couple of different bits of information as well. It gives you the duration, the total duration of any given clip that you're selected on. So this clip is 10 seconds long. You can reverse the speed, which I'll show you how to do in just a minute. And so anything above 100 is going to increase the speed. It's also going to shorten the clip. So you'll see as I do 200, it drops it down to 5. It cuts it in half because I'm doubling the speed. And if I go to 50%, it's going to double the timestamp and signature because I'm halving the amount of speed. I'm slowing it way down. And so I'm going to slow this down. One of the things you need to keep in mind as you're doing these speed and duration adjustments is that if you are adjusting these clips and they are on the same track as another clip separate, and you are increasing that time, it is going to overlap with the following clip and delete and override any subsequent footage. So you either want to do this before you have your clips matched up, or you want to move your other clips out of the way to ensure that they're not getting overwritten. And it's really hard to tell, and it's really frustrating when you go back and play and you're like, where did that little bit of information go? And usually what happens is it has been overwritten by an extension, either by moving the clip or by increasing the duration of the clip. So I'm going to put this down to 50% because I want to show you something with this clip, with this footage. So I've just doubled it now. You can see it's 20 seconds long up here. This is your time signature, timestamp. One of the things that's really helpful with being able to slow your duration down in a clip like this is that this is, a really washboardy, it's bumpy footage, it's handheld, it's, it looks pretty rough. When you slow down a clip like this, it actually just sort of naturally smooths out that bumpiness, and it makes it feel a little bit smoother and a little bit, she looks much more sort of stoic here, okay? And so being able to slow down that duration, even maybe not even 50%, 25% will help sort of smooth that footage out if it's, if it's become distracting or you were unable to get a gimbal or something like that to create smooth footage. I'm going to undo this, and I'm going to double the footage now. So I'm going to go to 200%. I'm going to speed it up, and you'll see how different this clip feels. It feels much more frantic and strange. She feels nervous, right? And so, you can create those effects just simply by adjusting the duration and the speed of a clip. So I'm going to undo that. The last thing I want to show you is how to adjust or reverse the speed of a clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this by hitting Command C, and I'm going to paste it onto this track. And the way that you can avoid overlaying the track onto itself, so if I push V1 on here and I don't switch it, watch what happens. It has replaced it over the previous footage, right? So now I've got this really harsh cut between these two, and I've lost a couple of seconds in my footage because my playhead pasted it over the previous clip because I'm selected here. So to avoid this problem, you can unselect one of the tracks and select the track that you want it to go to. It's still going to paste it wherever the playhead starts, but now we know we haven't lost any footage and we can go from here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, now that I've got these two, you can see that if they're on separate tracks, it will snap to the end and beginning of the subsequent clips. And so right now I've got these two matching pieces of footage here. And what I'm going to do and show you the last thing with the speed and duration is I'm going to right click on this footage, leave this one alone, and I'm going to reverse this clip. Reversing a clip takes a lot of memory and RAM out of your computer. So keep in mind that things are going to bog down just a little bit. And if you have a lot of footage that is doing this, it takes a lot of memory to run it. So be patient with your computer and make sure that you can do everything you can to prevent it from crashing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. I'm going to leave the duration. So now I've got 100% over here and a negative 100% over here. And what this is useful for is creating a sort of transition between the same clip. Let's say you want it to be a loop. You want to be able to extend how the footage looks. And so if you do it like this, you'll see that it just sort of push and pulls the clips together, which is pretty cute. Okay. And so that is it for this video. We will go ahead and stop it there.